Hello, it is October 13th, 2020. I'm just over 11 weeks on testosterone. And I guess like some of the things that I'm struggling with right now, I am struggling right now. I guess like I don't know if you'd think that so like a couple months ago when I let these kids like draw a fake beard on me, I saw it and I was like, holy smokes, this actually looks like it's supposed to be there. This is something that I want, before I even realized that I wanted to transition. And so you'd think, or I thought, having a beard or growing facial hair would be like the thing, right? When I look at like people's transition videos and stuff, it seems like that's like something that a lot of men are excited about, and I do want that. But two things that are kind of like obstructing that. One is that, like I have a female chest, and I will until I can get top surgery, which is like scary in itself, surgery, which will be like a year from now. And the second thing that, is like, I've always had, and I've never really disclosed this, but like, I guess like a form of trichotillomania, like pulling hair or whatever, as a nervous twitch. And mine's always been like chin hairs and facial hairs. And I don't know like where that stems from, or what, or where that came from, or when it started. I think like my late 20s, maybe trading off like self-harming behaviors for that. I don't know. But nonetheless, pre-T, I had like a little system going on. But now with T, I'm like giving myself like cystic zits and pimples because of it. And so you'd think that, growing facial hair, that'd be like, yeah. And on one hand it is, but in another, it's like gives me inducing like a sense of anxiety for me, oddly enough. And that old habit that I've had for the last 10 years of like pulling hair, it hasn't gone away. Sometimes I can like control it, but lately not. Another thing is I've recently deactivated my social media. I'm like, I don't know, 2 or 3 days into that. I'm trying to go the rest of October. I'd ideally like to go at least around Christmas time, but at least for the rest of October. And the reason for that, a lot of reasons, but the biggest one is that I just started comparing myself to other people and feeling bad, when I first started T, I was like, oh my god, I don't want to gain weight from like all those years of indoctrination as a woman, being told not to gain weight. And then now it's like, am I strong enough? Am I jacked enough? Blah, blah, blah. Am I masculine enough? Is what's changing unattractive, or will it be unattractive in me? And with those other things, I kind of like learned to live with them. And this is all new stuff, right? Like, I'm starting to grow, albeit wispy, chest hair, which is kind of cool, but it's also like, oh my god, what if that gets so crazy? And what do I do with it? And oddly enough, like, what if it makes me less attractive? Which is such a silly, superficial thing. But that's really hard to undo. And, and then comparing myself to, like, cisgendered men, instead of, like, embracing being a two-spirit or transgender man. And, for the most part, I would want to change that. Because I think this is one of the things that is part of my medicine and part of my gift in this world, is teaching about non-binary living and fluid living. And I always said like transgender men are really lucky because they can be like a 2.0 man and teach other men about what women experience, and vice versa, because we've been on both sides. But there is that fear, like, Like, one thing that I've always wanted, that I still want, is a family of my own. I want the opportunity to raise a child and have a partnership with somebody. And when I was living life as a lesbian, I had more potential partners around. Now, they weren't the best quality partners, but I got accustomed to having partners available to me. And if I'm being like completely honest, it's not really a thing currently. And I don't know, like, intellectually and explicitly, I know that it's like, now is not the time. If it were the time, it would be here, but it's not the time. And that this is a really sacred period. But, like, the ego gets scared and is like, shit, like, what if, because you're two-spirit or transgender or not cisgender male, that will be perceived as a handicap or perceived as lesser. And yeah, that's like a real fear that I have. It's like, instead of like treating it like, no, like any person would be lucky to be with me because I'm brave, I'm courageous, blah, 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 all those things, right? Because I'm special in my own way. Special in my own way. And so it's like, I would assume that a lot of it, the people in my life are like reflections of how I feel about myself and those things that I'm decolonizing, those old beliefs that I'm decolonizing or undoing. Because I've said it before, I was, like, I had like semi-passive transphobic attitudes. And that was, as I understand now, from lack of acceptance, self-acceptance. So I'm like undoing those things, and there's things I'm struggling with. And as I'm going through these changes, physically, mentally, emotionally, I don't necessarily like feel like being so public about them. Not in live time, like I'll make these videos and record these experiences and probably share them later on. But as I go along, it's like, at least right now, I don't really feel like, I feel like I need to be in a cocoon doing this. Because it's just a really sacred, special thing, and to me, anyway, and I need to take it, in the words of a knowledge keeper, one of my teachers, I need to have it go from here and shift into here in my inner church before I can share it with others. So it's just processing right now. So, and that's largely the two reasons why I deactivated my social media right now, is just because one, kind of need to be in cocoon, but two, I don't want to compare myself to other people, because I'm not other people. I'm my own person. And I was starting to compare myself to other people. I was looking at, friends or relatives or whatever's like progress pictures and pictures of them with their families and their, their kids and or crazy physiques that they worked hard for. I'm not going to say that, like, they didn't work for that or they don't deserve it. But like, I definitely started comparing myself to them. And then I didn't feel good. I wasn't feeling good. I was feeling stressed out. Like, why aren't I doing all these things and working out harder and blah, 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 instead of focusing on the things that I am doing, like pursuing my undergrad. I'm finally, after more than 10 years, pursuing my undergrad, which is taking up a lot of my time, fortunately. And that's another thing. I want to focus on that. It's I wouldn't even say it's an aside. It's just another part of my life that's becoming important to me. as I'm transitioning. And it's cool because, like, you know, it keeps me busy. I'm learning. You know, it's building my self-esteem and my confidence. And then before you know it, a couple weeks have passed and these changes are happening. So that's really cool. But this whole period's forcing me to like challenge all my old beliefs and challenge, you know, my fears. And, you know, a lot of it is like that I'm going to be alone in life. And so I realize now that I'm not, you know, I'm not alone in life. My roommate's getting crazy about his homework. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Anyways, that's where I'm at. So, oh, cool thing that happened today. Manitoba has disclosed that on your driver's license, you can now have the X option for your gender or no gender at all, which is pretty cool. And I haven't really decided. I thought I was going to go for male gender and change my sex designation. And I probably still will, but I haven't decided if I want to, where applicable, if I just want to leave it out or have an X option. We'll see. I'm still coming into all of that. But anyways, I am, 11 and a half weeks on testosterone. 3 days away from social media. I do love social media and I want to share this journey, but right now I need to spend time with myself and focus my energies inward and on my life and not look at what's going on the other side of the field, grass, whatever. So yeah, those are some of the things. Plus, puberty's so awkward. Who wants to go through puberty in public in real time? I don't mind sharing those things a little bit later. Give me a couple weeks or months, but right now I just, you know, want to go through it this way because it's too hard. It's too hard to share it and go through it at the same time. This is just what feels right to me right now.